So I had wanted to ask you anyway, because you said that you had grown up and you would get into fights and you were at times an angry kid. What I feel today is somewhat missing or lacking from the youth and the kids that we have today is they run their mouths and they don't get checked. I mean, not that fighting is the answer and the way to go and how you should handle everything, but I feel that because there's no opportunity, kids don't have to worry about getting punched in the mouth, that they'll just say whatever the hell they want, and it causes more trouble, and it drives me nuts because, like, and when you and I played, you ran your mouth, someone would check you. You weren't going to run your mouth for long, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I feel is like missing from today. So I was just curious because you're older and wiser. I mean, do you think that obviously you can't fight everyone, you can't go around fighting people, but do you feel that the kids today kind of are bolder and with the bullying and social media, and it just never ends, and if they were able to settle it with a fight or some sort of physical altercation, I think there would be less problems, issues, bullying. Do you think that, or do you think there's another way to do it, or because it just drives me nuts when I hear about it?
I mean, I think, and again, so I think that it's that is very interesting, right? So I think it's we could put a blanket statement over it, but I think each individual is different. But I just think
Exactly, you're right.
this
Yes.
generation is definitely at a place, my own kids now, where they're not
Right.
as, like you said, they're not getting checked like how people got checked when we were younger.
But I'm sure your kids are respectful, and I'm sure
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
not running
Kids
their
are,
mouths, they're not causing problems.
no, only thing I would say, what happens to a lot of young kids now is that they do what they just, what we used to call, they might call playing the dozens, or they call roasting or whatnot.
Yeah.
And these kids
But
just
it's in
can't.
good fun.
Yeah, it's in good fun for some, but it's just not. They can't take it. Like, these kids can't.
Yes.
When I grew up, man, it was just, that was,
Yeah.
you had to brace yourself, because
It's
the
coming.
things people would say.
Yes. Yeah.
But you knew, like, there was the thing. Like, sometimes those they ended up in in fights, but not. But to answer your question, I would say I think there is a lack of handle things getting handled, especially amongst young boys, right? I
Yes.
think boys are different.
Yes.
And boys are different. I've had conversations about this, like, with my wife. I said, look, I said, with our son, I said, I said, this is what's going to happen. And I told her this before. I said, he's going to get into fights.
Yeah.
Right. And I said, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with him getting into fights. I said, what I'm not okay with is him bullying. Like, I'm okay with him defending himself. I'm okay with him not letting himself get pushed around, because unfortunately, I said, this is how men we interact. Sometimes it's you.
Oh, hold on. Come back.
You there?
Yep, I got you. Sorry.
Okay. So I'm like, this will happen. And as long as, he understands, like, this is how you defend yourself, but you're
You're
again,
not
like
the
I mentioned before,
instigator.
Yeah, we don't, and I tell all my kids, I said, we don't start fights, we finish them. I said,
Exactly.
look,
It's a great
if you get to that
mentality.
point we have to do it, you make sure that you leave the impression that I'm not someone that you're just going to, you're gonna walk
Yeah.
over, but you're gonna limp back, right?
Yeah.
Like,
You're not going to push me around.
yeah, you might get the best of me, but you're not. I'm not gonna be the person you're just like, yeah, let me go mess with
Yeah.
this kid, right? So that's the kind of thing. But I think, yeah, there's it's something that I think is, yeah, fighting is discouraged in this
Yeah.
generation. And I think at the very least, these kids need outlets to express their aggression. Whether you are,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
whether you are training in in some kind of martial arts, whether that be boxing all the way to jiu-jitsu, or any mix or something in between, where you got somewhere you can unleash that aggression, or whether that's a sport, but you need to be able to do it, right? You need to be able to do it. And at the same time, to your point, I think it is okay for people to get checked. I think it's okay.
Yeah. I think they need to.
Yeah, I think it's definitely okay, because I think, and again, a lot of people get slack for this. You hear this in the media, even I forget the actor. I forget his name, but he played Captain America, recent Captain America.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and he was the Falcon. His name is escaping my mind right now. But he talked about how he raises his sons and to be masculine, to be men.
Yeah.
And some people gave him a lot of slack about it. And I was like, what is the problem? He's like, because no, he's like, my men are gonna be men. They're gonna be respectful. They're going to have chivalry, but they're gonna be men. Like, they're gonna, if they gotta get down, they gotta get down. He said, like, if I'm not home and he said, no one's trying to have a conversation. If somebody break in the house or something happened, he said they need to be able to know how to handle things if it happens.
Exactly.
So, and I think a part of that is that you being able to check someone is, for one, to let people know that this is inappropriate, right? For one,
Right.
at the very least, right? That's the simplest way to put it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we in a generation where they what do they call it? The FAFO, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So you get it, like some people need to find out, man. They just
I didn't mean to throw you off. I just get so frustrated by it because I see, my friends' kids who get bullied, and it's not like, when we were growing up, you'd get made fun of at school or on the bus or whatever. You'd get home and it's over. Now it's, it's all over social media, and it never stops. And it ends up with kids dealing with mental health issues and suicide, and it just goes too far. And that's why I'm like, if someone just checked these kids, they would shut up. They don't get checked.
Yeah, I think it would change a lot. And I think you mentioned something I think a lot of people need to be aware of. And I was very, again, I got to give all kind of glory to God, because he just put stuff in me that it's no other explanation for it. Right. So what I'm about to say is, it has to do with kind of everything encompassing what you're talking about. Right. And a lot of it goes to with kind of technology. Right. So
yes,
technology is a double-edged sword.
100%.
It's a gift and it's a curse.
100%.
Right. Because I'm about to bring up something that I know you can relate to. When we went to UConn, right? You might have been similar, but this is just kind of how my mind worked. I didn't have a phone.
I didn't either. Same thing.
But I had hundreds of numbers in my head.
Same thing. Yep.
Hundreds, right?
Yep. I still know the number to DP though.
Yeah. So I don't, but you know what I'm saying? Like those are the things, but right? It's certain numbers you knew, like for, whether it be family members and things like that.
Yeah.
I understood the whole system, how the phones worked at UConn and everything like that. Like, we got the 486, and I knew if you were in a certain dorm, your last 4 digits was this. And then
Yes.
it just went by on 1 to 2 numbers, whether you were
Yeah, it
next
was
door
either
or second, third.
429 or 427. I
Yeah,
remember that was the
right.
first
So
3 numbers.
if
Yeah.
you on one side of the hall, it was even numbers. On the other side of
Yeah.
the hall, it was odd numbers. That's how I would know. Like I could know that somebody stayed in the building, and I can figure out or get very close to your number. And I would call. I've done it times where I call people, and I'm like, hey, because I remembered. Okay, they were McMahon. They're on this floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
JY lived on this floor. Okay, his number is this. This person lives here, right? So then I go, oh. And I call, and they'd be like, they'd be like, oh, no, that's such and such. They're actually next door. Their number is this. So even if you would get close, but at some point, I had a whole bunch of numbers in my head. I bring that up to say that's unheard of now, right? These kids.
It is. It is. They don't know. They don't know their numbers. Yeah.
And the reason why I bring that up is because technology, even though how beautiful it is, we can store thousands of numbers, right? We can keep hundreds in our head, but we store thousands of numbers. But now you don't remember any of those things. Exactly. And also you have too much information.
Overload.
At your fingertips.
Yeah.
And you get exposed to too many things.
Too fast. Yep.
I'm big on not exposing my kids to certain things.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
Right. So, you hear about it. And some of the things you mentioned, I know it's very serious. You mentioned teen, youth suicide, just suicide in general, right? People, those things.
I just hate hearing about it because it doesn't stop. And, the parents and the teachers are afraid to step in enough. I mean, they'll talk to them, but they never take it to the next level. They don't realize how serious the situation is. And then it's too late. Yeah. And that's what bothers me the most is situations that could have been prevented had the adults used their brains. Yeah. That's what bothers me. That's why I brought it up.
And what I would say, and I'm coming from a standpoint, I'm a former educator, so I taught.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
For 15 years. I would say this, me being a former educator and obviously being a parent, I put very little onus on teachers, right? Because your first teacher or teachers should be in the home. And that should set the foundation for how everything else moves. And as a parent, you can dictate what goes on and what not goes on, even in school. So you can opt out of certain things your kids learn and what they are able to learn. And you can say, nope, I don't want my child to learn this when this happens. But you got to be an advocate and understand that.
Right.
So, and I say that because I wasn't big on the topic we're talking about, like with people, with suicide and stuff like that. I'm not big on, it's something that exists, but so you remember like very popular show or mini series or something that came out. I think they stopped it, which was I think it was on Netflix, 13 Reasons or something like that.
13 Reasons Why. Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
So I've never watched it.
Don't watch it.
Never watched it, right? But when I taught middle school a few years ago, it was all crazy. Like the kids was like talking about it. I was like, look, this is dangerous.
The suicide rate went up because of it.
Yeah, and see, no one see.
I wanted to fight people
when people. I was like, and I refused. I said, look, I'm not allowing my kids or any kid. I discourage you from allowing your kids. I said, you don't understand exposure. Like you just being exposed to something, then to you it's an option. Yeah. If you don't know that that's an option, you're not gonna. You're not even going to think about it. Think of it as it's like, okay, well, how else do I solve this problem? And then people don't understand the ramifications behind it, right? Like suicide is something that it is harder on the people that the ripple that it creates.
That you leave behind. Yeah. 100%.
It is hard on the ripple you create, right? Some people even say like some So I've heard some people say that that suicide is one of the most selfish things that someone could do, because
I've heard that too. Yep.
so they've said that because you feel that you took a way out, right? You don't really know, right? Because it's over. You don't know what's left behind.
You left everything behind, and they have to suffer.
Yeah, we're talking about friends, right? Family.
Yeah.
If you had someone that loved you, if you were a parent and you had children, right? If you were a child and you don't know, and again, we can focus. Want to keep the focus on the youth, right? They don't understand. Just like a lot of things where people are telling these kids, and that's also with the exposure to a lot of and I taught PE and health, so it was a very tough subject when you start talking about when people start wanting to teach like sexuality.
Of course.
So for me, I would follow my curriculum and follow things, but I was very clear about. I just that wasn't a topic that I would. Again, that's another exposure thing.
It's got to be challenging.
Way different. Again, for me, I'm a person. I'm a Christian. I believe in Bible principles.
Yeah.
And that's me, and that's what governs and guides my life and how I interact with people, and how I raise my family, and how I am. So for me, I don't go against God's word. Right?
You live by the Holy Spirit. You live by God.
Yeah. So if I don't go against God's word, you can't knock me for standing on that business. Right? I'm standing on business on that. So that's the business I stand on. And at the same time, you make your decisions. But because I stand on my business, that doesn't stop you from standing on your business. You can stand on whatever business you want to stand on.
It's a free country.
Yeah, it's a free country. So that's fine. You do what you do. Cool. But I think where the problem is that people get to a point where they want more. They want to do more than just stand on what their business should be.
Absolutely.
Again, right. So it happens when it comes to like, called the alphabet community. But at the same time, it does happen. It happens from a religious standpoint too, though. So my thing is, I think some people try to beat people over the head with certain things that they believe.
Yeah, they get involved. Yeah, you're right. So
whether you're on either side, but again, that's not a place where I come from. That's not a place where I don't think anyone should come from. I think in the word tells you these things, right? So if you just, because again, like God is love, right? So if you come from a place of love and you love everyone, right? So if God tell you, right, to love your neighbor like you love yourself, that person that has that lifestyle, that's still my neighbor, right? So I still love you.
Absolutely.
Right. And again, so I'm a big proponent of love the person. All right. And this is one of the only few times I ever use this word. Probably the only time I ever use this word. Love the person. For me, hate the sin. Right.
That's exactly it. Love the person, hate the sinner.
That means not the sinner. I love the sinner.
Oh, the sin, hate the sin. Right.
So it's the act, right? Like,
right.
We all fall short. We all have done stuff that was, questionable or stupid, right? So we've done some things. So I can still, right? I'm not above reproach, right? So boom, I can make a mistake. I would hope that you would love me through my folly and the things that I messed up on. I can still love you through the things that you've done wrong and the decisions you decide to make, and that's fine. But the thing is, that doesn't mean I have to accept it, right?
Right.
I don't have to accept it. I don't have to accept it for me. I can accept you and for what you're doing. And
all right. I got to ask you a question then.
Yeah.
So this is a religious question. It's a tough religious question. I had been going to a non-denominational church. I was raised Catholic, confirmed, all that stuff. I met a friend who was a doctor that I saw when I was in the hospital. And, one day he asked to pray over me, and he prayed, and I was a flaming asshole to him for 2 weeks. But I came around and was a good friend. And, he said, we're going to get you out of here. And when you get better, I'm going to come on your podcast. And I said, yeah, sure, whatever. But it happened. So he came on the podcast and he talked about his faith, and just seeing the joy and how happy he was, and how he believed so strongly, and I felt something. So I asked, like, he didn't push it on me or anything. Now, I've had other people tell me that this was a plan, and like I was a mark the whole time, and he was trying to get me to join the church, but I never felt that way. I asked if I could go to church with him.
Yeah.
And I went, and it was 2 years ago. The church is called the Redeemers. It's non-denominational. It's small. It's based off of the Protestant religion. And I wanted to join. I was considering joining. I don't technically have to be baptized, but I would like to. And I would have to go through an interview process with the pastor. And the question, they're conservative. My family isn't thrilled about it because we have a gay cousin. One of my cousins is gay, and homosexuality is a sin, and the whole abortion thing bothers my mother, and socially, I mean, I don't know what's right or what's wrong or how I would answer the questions, but the pastor preached when I was talking. I talked to him on Sunday, and I just asked, and he said that you can accept your cousin for being a homosexual, but you can't approve of the lifestyle. You can accept somebody having an abortion, but you cannot approve of the lifestyle. So I was just kind of conflicted on that. If does that mean I love them any less? Does that mean that it changes my relationship with them? I don't know anyone who's had an abortion or anything, but the thing with my cousin, and that was the whole kind of holdup of joining the religion. So I would just be curious to hear your feedback on something like that, because the way I explained it to my parents was, they were Catholics in the 60s, and the Catholic Church was ultra conservative, and they had the same belief system. The Catholic Church became liberal over time, but back in the 60s, they didn't believe in homosexuality. They didn't believe in abortion. It was the same thing. So why would it be frowned upon now to, go against it so hard, to say, like, I don't want you to be baptized and join this church? And the pastor, because I've been going for 2 years, and the pastor is on me. He's like, you can't audit church. It's like, we want you to join, make a decision, join us. You're welcome to come, but we think it's time to make a decision and join. So that's what I've kind of been struggling with, to take that next step and join. And, if that is the proper advice, if, accepting, you can say you accept the lifestyle, but you don't approve of it. Would you agree with that?
Well, what I would say,
and I know it's different for you, it's a different religion, but
no. So here's the thing. Yes. So what I would say is this. So I'm not religious, right?
Okay.
No. So as a Christian,
yes.
If you're a Christian, right? We have a relationship. I have a relationship with my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
With God, right?
Relationship with God. So, and I think that's a part of where things get problematic, because it's like, people kind of treat religion like if it's a part of like a political party, like how you
they do, yeah. They take it personal, yeah.
So even the church I go to, the last few churches I've been to have all been non-denominational. non-denominational churches, because they don't claim a denomination, they're about a relationship.
I like non-denomination.
So let me ask you
I've
this,
liked it.
because my thing is, and again, I just while you were talking, I'm just kind of like, again, me having a relationship with God, man, I talk to God anytime, just like,
And that's what they told me to do. And I've never done that before. They said, you need to pray and you need to talk to God all the time, every day. And that's something I'm not used to doing. I'm used to saying an Our Father and a Hail Mary before I go to bed.
Yeah.
But the pastor said, listen, you need to build a relationship with God. You need to ask for guidance. You need to pray constantly for guidance, for answers if you're struggling, and he'll give them to you. If you pray enough and if you listen, it'll come to you. And that was his advice to me. The exact same with you, like having an active, engaging relationship with God.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely want to have that relationship with God. Let me ask you this. So
Okay.
I got a couple questions with you. So have you ever, now this non-denominational church
Yes.
That you go to?
It may be a cult, but I like it.
So, I mean, I'm asking a couple questions. So it could be, because that Redeemer, like it was Redeemer is a name that kind of, I went to a Church of the Redeemer back in Maryland.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that's why, a Redeemer is a like a lot of, like
it's got some different meanings, or you've heard of it.
It has this, it's a redeem, but
oh, it is okay.
But it's just that, people have a name, they put names on the different churches and whatnot. But what I want to ask you is that, now, have you confessed, like, is this a Christian-based church? What is this?
Yes.
Okay. Have you accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? Have you ever done that?
Yes.
All right. You said with your mouth and in your heart.
With
right?
The pastor, yes.
No,
yes.
Whether it's with a pastor or not, you don't have to.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't said it alone. When I met with the pastor, we were going through some things, and he asked me those questions.
Yes.
And I said, yes, I accept Jesus Christ as the Lord and Savior, died for our sins and all that. Yes.
Good. So I just want to be clear, because you got to understand where. So if that's something that you did and you believe in your heart, then that's where your redemption already happened, right? So you're saved by that, right? That's what saves you. There's no other qualifications you have to do to be accepted in the kingdom of God. You don't have to do any additional things. Now, being baptized, great thing, ritualistic. If it's something you want to do, something you can do. I would have some pause if someone is telling me that I have to, right?
They said I don't have to.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to. I feel like I want to do it. And the reason being is they don't baptize anyone until they're like 16 years old, because they feel the Catholic way or the Christian way, where they baptize children at birth, they don't really get a choice in the matter. They're just born into it.
You normally do nowadays, and now you dedicate your children, like you do a baby dedication, or they call it Christian or whatever, but you do a baby dedication. Yeah, baptism is something that a choice you make on your own as you get older. So again, me asking you that question, right? So, which is, again, you answer that question. Now, again, if you feel your relationship with God is something that, it's like anything else, it happens over time, but you have to, it's like anything else, it's about what you feed yourself, right?
You got to put in
healthy, and you're eating like, greens, veggies, and things like that. You feel way different than if you just eating, certain things you consume, you filling your body up with.
Yeah.
Right. And I think you understand, you can relate to that. So it's the same thing. We consume things, we absorb things. Even if like if you sat your hand in some water, right? Some water is going to penetrate your skin, it's going to absorb it. We absorb things through our eyes, through our senses, through our nose, things we smell, right? We smell something good, we smell something bad, right? You're not going to sit around something that smells bad for too long, right? You're not just going to do that. But at the same time, if you were to work somewhere that it smells kind of bad, after a while, you kind of get used to it. Even though it's bad for you, you get used to it. At the same thing is what we consume. And what's big is what we read and what we take in. Like we could take things in mentally and those things that we take in. So if you want to strengthen your relationship with God, is for one, you gotta read he's given us instructions on how to get closer to him, right? It's in his word, right? So he's told us what to do, how to have a better relationship with him, and how to get closer to him. And one of the basic things is all prayer is a conversation with God.
That's what they told me. It doesn't have to be this monumental thing. It's a conversation.
Exactly.
And I've never been brought up that way. And I've never just prayed that way where I'm having a conversation with God. So that's something I've struggled with trying to do. I try to do it more and more throughout the day. So it's becoming natural and not forced. And it's becoming easier and easier to do. But I had never done it that way. So that was really new to me as well. But the first time my friend brought me to this church, 20 people came up to me and greeted me, asked me questions, welcomed me, said they were happy to have me there, all this stuff. You go to a Catholic church and maybe an old lady will give you a dirty look and that's it. You just don't get the warmth and the love that you feel. Like, I don't know what, I can't explain it. And I'm sure that but going in there, I just felt like it just felt right. Yeah. It felt like I belonged.
Yeah. And that's a big part. So understand, the church it's a difference. It's a church house, but the church is the people, right? The word says, if, two or more gather my name, then there I'll be with you. Right. So we're having church right now, believe it or not, right? Just because we're engaging and we're talking, this is what church is. Church is the people. It's the body of Christ. So it's people who believe and engage in healthy conversation about God. So that's in itself. Now, the church house is the building you go to, right? You don't necessarily got to be tied to any building. Even though that place that you go to and you feel comfortable and great, that's great. That church community is something that's needed, and it helps because no man is an island, right? We don't want to be by ourselves. We don't want to, because what happens when you're by yourself, you're alone, like that. You're susceptible to the enemy getting a hold of you and trying to encourage you to do these things, right? And I think that's another one of those things that's happening with the youth, with these young people. They're isolating themselves, and that's just why, these things are popping in their head about do this, do this, handle this way. Or don't handle it at all, like end it all. Those are not good, right? So that's why it's important to again, for one, pray for the youth, pray for these people, and again, just be aware that it's really not that hard, right? It's very simple. And sometimes it's just something that's saying thank you. One thing I try to do, I just try to tell God thank you every day for one, just woke me up, turned my light on this morning, didn't have to, right? We've experienced, even in our time, of people that everybody's had somebody we've known around us that's passed, or even people that's worn, the blue and white, that have gone on and passed away. People we played with.
I know.
Right? So, and we have, that we deal with, we have to deal with those types of things. But that's the thing, like, don't allow yourself to be isolated. Interact. I think it sounds like, like that might be a good community of people for you, but don't. So the thing is, I would want you to, the mentality that you were raised with, the Catholic, like, I'm a part of this religion. No, you're part of like God's family, right? You're God's chosen. You accepted him as your Lord and Savior. You're family now, right? And it's just family. Yes. Right? You got family all over the world now, right? So now it's not just like, oh, now you have a church home, which you need, right? You need that foundation, like things going wrong. You need a community of people to, hey, I'm struggling. I need this. Or you be the outlet to people. You can see, and God will start piercing your heart and let you know to talk to this person or to be supportive of this person. Just like how
exactly
God spoke to someone to be supportive of you 2 years ago, to where you didn't know what was going to happen. And that person, in spite of, you said, you seemed like you kind of treated them a little.
I was a jerk for 2 weeks. Yes.
Right. And then you came around and you go, oh, okay. And it's help you.
Yes, tremendously. Yes.
Tremendously, right. So, and again, and that's just God. So that's why I just, for me, I know I'm like, all right, that's just number God, because certain things you just can't explain, right? Right. You can't explain. And
You can't,
like,
no.
You're just like, look, I can't explain. And people can try to say it's something else and deny it. They can do, that's fine. I accept it to be what I accept it to be, right? And it seemed like you're doing this, you're doing the same thing where that is. So I would say, again, I know we got long-winded with it, with I think your original question was.
Well, yeah, I just because, you had brought up religion, and I'm looking for, I guess, counsel and guidance, and you seem to know what you're talking about. So I was just curious on your take of, going through a baptism, the conservative beliefs, if that's, I mean, it's controversial, but
I wouldn't even, I would attach this. If this is something you desire to do, I would not be focused on any approval of anybody other than God.
And I'm not. Okay.
So, what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, well, what about this conservative? Or, and I know you mentioned like, well, my cousin and this, look, your cousin, they have their own journey. All you could do is love them
and be supportive, right?
Yeah, love them and pray for them. But so you can support them, right? Again, whatever way you decide, right? Whatever way God leads you to do so. But I think he's very clear in his word on what he's okay with and what
he is.
Right?
That's,
so
I agree.
Thing is, for me, it's, hey, love you, cuz, love this, love that. But just understand, like, here's certain things that with me and my relationship with God, my faith walk, like if you, if you're saying, all right, I'm getting married and I want you to come to my wedding.
Well, that
right. I'm just, I'm just being
right.
real. Like it's like, hey, love
that
you.
That would be tricky.
But I'm just being real with you. I probably won't be at your wedding. I still love you.
Yes.
None against that.
But I wouldn't be able to support that.
So
I wholeheartedly agree. Yes.
So that and again, I just throw that up as an example. So that's kind of like, and it sounds like it's very similar to what your pastor was telling you. Your pastor saying, hey, you can't audit God's.
Well, he's like, you've been coming for 2 years.
Yeah.
I did all the essential courses that they make you take to join. I'm in Bible study.
Yeah.
I've put more time I've ever put in my life into God and church. I feel I'm in a much better place than I've been in probably the last 3 years. So I feel like the relationship is working, and I'm having stronger faith. And I feel every time I go, like, I never used to look forward to going to church. I look forward to going to church now.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, like, my friends, some of my, my mother thinks it's cultish, and, they have the tithing, and that's a whole nother thing, but that doesn't bother me as much, just because of the way I feel. And I know, they have expectations on tithing, and you have to go through an interview with the pastor to get approval for the baptism. And I think I want to do it, and I want to try it, and it's been very beneficial to my life. So that is very, very helpful advice that you have given that
Yeah, man.
kind
I
of
think
steers me in the right direction
yeah, I
of what I
think
need to
so.
do.
Which is good, man. I'm glad to hear that. You have a hopefully again for me, I always encourage people to be in a Bible-based church that they follow Bible principles. They encourage you to do so,
Yes,
but at the
and they
same
do
time,
that.
it shouldn't be like an or else, right? Like you
It's
shouldn't
and
have to
it's
like
not.
yeah,
It's
it should
not
be like you
forced.
pay tithes or else
It's
because it's
not right. Right.
right. It should be like God encourages you to be a cheerful giver, right? He says to
Correct.
to put give you your first tenth of put it to the storehouse, things like that. So he says that. Now, again, at the same time, he gives you free will to do what you're led and what you're moved to do, right? So as long as you're doing that, as long as you're, the church is not saying, "Hey, we noticed you didn't tithe last month or the last 2 months."
Yeah,
Like,
they're not.
right?
And it was funny because the last sermon, the pastor said that he said, "I just want to make it clear. I've had a few questions. When you interview to become a member of the church, you don't have to bring your tax returns. We don't look at your tax returns.
Yeah,
We don't look at your income, anything like that."
yeah,
He's like, these people start myths and rumors that just
yes,
aren't true. So that's why I asked.
yeah.
I apologize. I've kept you long. I want to talk about Fresh Fold Laundry Company, Carborough, North Carolina, state of the art facility. Um, I love everything that you're doing. I love the online scheduling and booking where people can book machines. I love the subscription model. I think that's genius. I think having specials and deals that are offered to college students, that's something that can grow and be very, very popular because when I do our live read, I say, if I'm with Tyler King or whatever, I say, Tyler, it's not going to be like you and I, who in our dorm rooms, there were a pile of clothes that sat for 6 months just dirty. It's like you can go to a laundromat, his laundromat. They wash, dry, and fold your clothes in land speed records. They do everything for you. They have deals. It's the perfect place. And it opened January 18th. And it's fantastic. It's state of the art, and you'll never find anything like it. And I've always wondered, I mean, would you consider yourself like having, because I know you were a teacher, did you always have like an entrepreneurial spirit? And was there something that drew you to this?
Yeah. So yes, I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. I think again that's something else I feel like I got from my mom.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of different stories I can have around that, but kind of won't. I'll be brief. So my mom, she's probably first entrepreneur I know. Like my mom, when we
Oh,
lived in
wow.
Florida, my mom, we lived in a house, and my mom had opportunity to buy. The person, her landlord, gave opportunity to buy like I think 3 properties, the property we lived in, and 2 other properties. Altogether let her buy it. That was one opportunity. So she started, that was one opportunity that I won't get into, but she didn't. I believe Florida had a rule where you had to, both spouse, like husband and wife, if you're like married, both have to sign off on it. And unfortunately,
Ah,
my dad didn't. Right. So
right.
so that fell through. And even before that, my parents lived in a brownstone in Brooklyn, and this is the first time this happened. Landlord really like
Oh,
work ethic, and landlord was like, "Hey, I want to sell you guys this house. You guys always pay rent on time. You do this, do that." And my mom was like, talked to my dad about. Was like, "Hey, this is an opportunity.
incredible opportunity.
Giving
Jesus.
us right. This is back in the early '80s, so this was
Yeah.
It was like a 3-family house, 3-family brownstone or something like that.
Oh my God.
So, and I looked up a couple years ago the value of that particular brownstone.
You did. Oh, no.
Yeah, yes. So it's pushing. I think it's pushing 2 million at the time.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm saying,
So, but that was the first time it happened. So it's funny, like this is just different mentality. So my dad
yeah,
was like, he was like, well, if we do that, we got to fix everything. We got to like his mentality wasn't what my mom's was. So my mom was
right,
like,
right, right.
he looked at
He's
it like,
thinking of the
yo, we got
upkeep and
this, we can
everything.
get this, but money valuation, appreciation, all she's and some of the stuff she didn't know about.
She was thinking 10 years ahead.
She just knew that it would have been a good. She might even
Yeah,
know. She just knew like this would be a great opportunity for us to do this
yeah,
because then we're collecting right now. But so
yeah,
my father was
yeah.
just focused on I got to fix this and fix that. So right, and that was
It was a
unfortunately
different mindset
different
completely.
mindset. So we didn't get that. So let that one
Yeah.
go. And then and the one in Florida, my mom, she was doing that on her own, but because she was married at the time, it was like he had to sign off, and he didn't show
Oh,
up. He didn't
Jesus.
show up
He
on
didn't
purpose.
show up for the closing, or
Yeah, he didn't show up. Yeah, pretty much. He didn't show up.
that makes me sick. Oh,
And yeah, so that was something that always left a really bad taste in my mouth growing up. But that's where the entrepreneur thing started, because she was always she thought that way, right?
yeah,
And I
she was
think
a forward thinker.
yeah. So for me, and it was tough because that, and again, I know getting a little bit off topic, but with that put her through a lot.
Oh, I
Which led
can't
us
even imagine.
to the whole like we went to Brooklyn. My mom had a
Yeah,
whole
you're in a shelter, you're in
yeah.
Harlem. Yeah.
But initially we went back to we moved from Florida. That's what brought us back to Brooklyn.
Oh, okay. I
So this is
got
in
you.
Florida. Went back to Brooklyn. We nervous breakdown. My mom had nervous breakdown. Had to go stay
Yep.
with family for a bit. That's what was in that was in the Crown Heights, and then we moved to Bed-Stuy. But through that whole time, those stories that she shared was things that stuck with me, right? Because I
It
first started out,
resonated with you.
yeah,
Yeah.
I started out in real estate. Real estate was where I initially started,
Right.
and I still own real estate. Still have a solid real estate portfolio.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so we yeah, I own real estate I've owned real estate in a bunch of different places. I've owned real estate in New York City, PA. Still own real estate here in North Carolina. Have a solid portfolio in North Carolina and Houston, Texas,
Oh my
Florida.
God.
So yeah, so real estate is a part of our investment portfolio. So as an
I
entrepreneur,
gotta have you talk to Laban Marsh. Well, you know Laban.
yeah,
Laban is the king of real estate in Erie, PA,
yeah,
and he
Laban,
believes in what exactly what you're doing. And Sam Dorville down in Florida, he's doing pretty well with spec houses and real estate in his portfolio. And I'm helping Razul with his fundraiser. He's got the House of Changes. It's a fundraiser for that. It's like a halfway house for people who've been incarcerated, recovering addicts, homeless people. He wants to eventually, build another one, not buy another one. So we're doing a fundraiser on April 19th for that. So real estate is huge. It's great that you're involved in that. So that's amazing that you're involved in so many facets.
Yeah, man. So starting real estate. So for me, right? If
And
I had to give
you have your
title,
license? You have your license?
not anymore. So I
don't need it.
I did the license route, but probably even like the people in there like Laban, even Laban, and because Laban's in the he's an investor. I believe he's an entrepreneur too. Like he owns stuff too, right? So
yes.
And I think
he's got like 10 different companies. It's hilarious.
Right. So that's the thing. So for me, I have 3 technically, right? So I have basically a holding company, and then all my other companies fall up under my holding company.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So, and that's kind of like where kind of how we move. So I have my holding company, which I kind of acquire businesses. So that was pretty much the Freshful. It was an acquisition. I acquired
I always wondered, did you do research
Yes,
before you purchased? Okay, I figured you did, but
yes.
I was just curious.
So from an entrepreneurial standpoint, right? I like to call myself, I am an income stream developer, right? So I develop, my focus is to develop multiple, I develop multiple streams of income.
Residual income.
Yes. So you
Yeah.
want, and my goal is to basically either acquire a company, develop a company, automate it, and then move on to the next company.
And then
Right? Move on
sell
to
it
the next.
or, yeah.
Yeah. So ideally, I automate. I try to hold on to whatever I can. I want to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I try to position it to a place to where it can be sold. Where
It's
it can be
increasing in value. Right.
Yeah. So the goal would be like, so for instance, the goal with Freshfold is for, if we hit our numbers over the next 18 months, if you will, then we should be able to, I should be able to have a valuation, because we'll have, I think, let's call it 24 months. So the next 24 months, so we'll be able to have 2 tax cycles. In 2 tax cycles, I'll be able to have a good evaluation of where my goals for where the company was to be, for it to be a multi-million-dollar company. Just Freshfold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
So Freshfold in itself. Under Freshfold, we have so that's just Freshfold, and Freshfold has an opportunity to do a number of different things and grow that way. And I'll get to Freshfold, but the other company. So I have a transportation company, logistics and transportation company. So from that standpoint, we shifted gears from when we actually moved freight all over the country to now we basically consult to companies that move freight. So we're basically, it's a consultant firm now.
That's brilliant. Consulting is the way to go. Yeah. I know so many people who have gone that route, and it's amazing. So it's great that you're into that. So yeah, and you have the experience to offer the knowledge and to be a good consultant.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, for sure. So that gives us the, because we were in it for so long, and then we consult, and then so my main goal and what I'm building out for the next few years is to take advantage of what they're calling the silver tsunami, which is baby boomers, right? And I call them.
Yeah.
We look to acquire probably over the next 5 years. I'm looking to acquire probably about a dozen boomer businesses, if you will. So these are like baby boomers that are on their way out, ready to retire. But they have these businesses that have books of business that are tried and true. People have used them for years, but they're getting burnt out. They're older. They love their business, but they're ready to retire. Their kids don't want the business, and their grandkids don't want anything to do with it.
Yep.
But if this business is not acquired, it'll die basically, right? So it'll just they'll just close shop.
Yeah, that'll be the end of it.
That'll be the end of it. But these businesses are great opportunities to grow.
Very lucrative. Yeah.
Well, for me, that's where I am, and I am focused on certain industries. So the laundry services.
People always need laundry.
Yep. Car washes.
People always need to get their car washed. Yep. HVAC's huge. HVAC, oh my God.
Plumbing. So those industries are the things that are companies that I will be acquiring, and excuse me, over the next my goal again, like to have about 12 of them over the next 5 years. Some combination of it. So
sound just like Laban. Laban said the exact same thing about having issues with HVAC companies, having issues with plumbing companies. So the fact that you're getting involved with those, they're the perfect businesses to generate the revenue and the income that you want.
Yeah, man. So yeah, and speaking of Laban, man, I gotta give a shout to Laban was Laban was a great teammate, man.
Laban loves you. Laban, every time I do your spot, he talks about you. He loves you.
I love Laban.
JY loves you too.
JY was like, So Laban, me and Laban, same year, came in, same class.
Yeah.
And I mean, Laban was, man, I've never seen any, and again, being on a team for seeing different,
Yeah.
Laban was one of one. It was nobody I've ever seen like
Yeah.
Laban from a athlete's perspective. I mean, Laban came in as a freshman and was like won like weight room warrior award as a freshman.
Yep.
And he would crush in the weight room. His work ethic was just, you know, he just worked. Like
he ran track, he ran indoor track, and he pole vaulted. I mean, he just an incredible athlete.
Exactly. So Laban. So the thing is, like, Laban did what, like, similar things that I did, but he just did it at a whole nother level, right? So he was like out of this world at everything he did. So as a DB, he was just sick, crazy. You know what I'm saying? Track, sick, crazy.
Yeah.
And I thought he played basketball too. I think he's pretty good at basketball too, if I'm not
mistaken. He loves basketball.
So
basketball was his son.
Sport. I think Drew, is it Drew? I think I've seen some videos of Drew getting dirty with it. Drew, he got a nice jumper.
And he's got his daughter pole vaulting.
Oh yeah, his daughter, she runs in pole, like, so
it's crazy.
And the thing is, Laban has always been super helpful. He's always just like always just been that teammate, like he just kind of like has been that way. And
he always wants to see people succeed.
Always looked out. So Laban, I'll tell you this, because we were freshmen, right? Freshman year, we had to take, like, it was like math 101. We had to take it. I'm in the math. I'm in there with Laban, man. I mean,
I had to take math 101 too.
Yeah, so we all like in there with Laban, and I probably wouldn't have passed that class without Laban. Because one of the downsides. So for me, it was I work, hard worker, even academically and whatnot. But the difference is that my school didn't prepare me for college. It didn't.
Right.
My high school did not prepare me for, UConn top 20 academic institution. I did not know what I was getting myself into academically. I was always a scholar athlete. And actually, so I was always a scholar athlete. And Laban helped me get through that class and always looked out. I remember I remember him looking out for me, making sure, because I don't know, man. I was just kind of like at a lot. It was everything that came. It was just like at another level. So I had to get adjusted. And he was definitely a big part of that adjustment period of being able to do that. Like, so many, and it was so great having these teammates that just was cool and just looked out. Just from whether it be in a classroom or outside a classroom. I always remember Laban may or may not remember this, but remember it was me, Laban, I think it was Campy, and it might have been Nikki. We all went to go to like a supermarket in a blizzard. So somebody, I think it might have been Laban, or somebody had a Jeep Cherokee, the one that had the zipper back.
Oh, one of those?
Yeah, one of those. In a snowstorm. We're going to like, what's that? Big Y or whatever was out there.
There was a Big Y.
Big Y somewhere. In a snowstorm, in the back roads.
Yeah. And,
like,
Connecticut can't handle snow, which is great.
Yeah, so we're just, man. I mean, that, like, I always remember, just those types of things, and just how just dominant he was as an athlete, as a freshman, and obviously we know what she's a big advocate for now with all the different things, concussion wise and stuff like that.
Yes, he's been a huge help. Yes.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, man, because I mean, he knows, like, Laban easily could have made it to the league. Unfortunately, his injuries and things like that and stuff he's been through.
Yep.
But he's just a great dude. Always looked out, always been cool. Even after, I think his daughter was doing gymnastics at one time. I took my daughter to a gymnastics meet, MPA one time, and I had leaned on him for a little bit of advice one time, and he, gave that. He's always just been like,
he's so positive. He's so happy.
Yeah,
And
that's
he's helped me because I've had symptoms of CTE.
yeah.
I got to meet with Dr. Christopher Nowinski, the head of the Boston Concussion Legacy Institute, who
Mm,
studies CTE. He got me with him, and he's really helped me to do much better. Because Laban, he says, he's like, I got to stay organized. I got to stay busy. So that's what keeps me going.
yeah,
Um, I live off my calendar. I hate that I have to live off my calendar,
yeah.
but I live off my calendar. So
Mm-hmm.
everything's planned out, but I don't sit still. And as long as I'm not sitting still, as long as I'm doing mental gymnastics, as long as I'm selling houses, closing deals, my brain it's just like any other muscle. I mean, it gets exercise, it gets use, and it's not going to deteriorate. I don't know how I'm going to be in 10 years, but I'm going to do everything I can to prevent myself from deteriorating. And I don't want to get any worse. I want to try to get better if I can, and hopefully treatment gets better along the way. But he's fighting as hard as he can, and he's doing a great job. And he'll give you the shirt off his back. He'll help others. And I think, man, he would love to hear about everything you're doing, because he always asks about you. The people that go nuts. Carl Bond always goes nuts about you.
Shank.
Shank loves you. Yeah.
Yo, man, that was my
JY loves you.
I tell you, man, my big brother squads, man, the guys that were very inspirational in shaping my experience at UConn. I got to give a shout out to I call my OGs, which was Carl,
Yeah.
Shank,
Yep.
Pup, Shane,
Shane. Yep.
somebody, the name you might not hear about a lot, who looked out for me a lot, was Gooch Adams.
I've
Gooch,
heard the name. I've never met him. I've heard the name.
Gooch was always cool with me. Uncle Phil, I call him Uncle Phil. You know Phil Hunt, right? Uncle Phil,
We call him El Jefe now because he's going to be
El
the
Jefe.
president soon. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
working in the
so
president's office. He's going to be the president any day
yeah, so
now.
I hope so. I mean, he can do it. So Uncle
No, he
Phil,
can. He's made such a. He hasn't even been there a year, and he's made such an impact. I'm so proud of him and so happy for him.
yeah,
And he's always been great to me. He's been a big help to me, and always takes my calls. I just think he's an amazing guy. He's brilliant. He's got like 10 degrees. So Phil's doing awesome. I'm so happy
yeah,
for Phil.
yep. Phil did, Phil, Ernie Lowe. These are
Yeah,
guys who looked
I
out for
met
me.
him.
Ernie Lowe, obviously JY, AC.
Bobby, you must have been Bobby
Uh,
Alfaro.
yeah, Bobby Alfaro. Yeah, Bobby Alfaro's always dope. Great teammate. Always looked out. Bobby. But these are like guys who, so that 98 year, like that was a change from like those guys, like, because everything shifted
I
when they
know.
left. Football changed. It was different for
Oh,
me.
it did. It did. Yeah.
It changed, and a
Not
part
in a
of
good way.
things left. Right, it changed, definitely. Things changed good, but culturally,
You had the best culture around with
we had
that
a
group.
tough culture time. It was a culture shift, and it was tough. But when those guys left, man, it was a lot
Yeah.
changed because those guys that year.
We were lost, man. We
Yeah,
were lost, and we should have been. We had the talent to be very good in '99, and Coach Edsel, he tried to be Tom Coughlin, and it
yeah,
just didn't work. It just didn't pay off, and he even admitted it when I interviewed him, which was good to hear.
yeah,
But he would do things different. But that's what next time I'll definitely interview you again. We'll talk more about UConn, so we'll
yeah,
get to do
for
that.
sure.
But
Oh yeah, let's shift back to fresh fold, right? So
I want to put over Fresh Fold. Absolutely. So obviously I love the service. You have the online scheduling. I love the subscription model. I love the wash, dry, fold, land speed record. I love the deals you have for college students. What else would you like to say? What else do you have to promote that
well,
I
I would
can
say
use?
with Fresh Fold, man, we offer something that's different. We're really kind of like a almost like is primarily done for you, right? Don't want to say somewhat of a high end service, if you will.
It
It's
is a
for
high end service,
it's a high end
100%.
service for people who just like. And my goal is to really condition people to be more like everybody's not going to be our client, right? And that's fine. But we want to shift the focus from being people focusing on like money, if you will, from a standpoint of right, oh, this costs. Yes, everything costs, right? But we want you to focus on
The
nothing's
quality of
more
what you're
important than
getting.
your time, right?
Yeah, that too.
Right?
Yes.
So your time is your most valuable asset. And if
100%.
you're spending your time doing all this laundry, right? My goal is to show people like, so we have kind of two client profile. One client profile is the people who have the money and know the value of their time already, and they're just like, hey, boom, like sign me up. Yeah, you guys come do our laundry every once a week, every 2 weeks, whatever that is. And boom, those people ready to go. That's the great, those are easy peasy clients. The second is the people that don't really realize that we are basically, if you look at it this way, your subscription or partnership with us is one step closer to you getting to where you want to be financially, to a point to where you take, right? Say if the average person spends between probably a week, probably somewhere between 6 and 12 hours a week doing laundry.
100%. Yeah.
Right. So you don't realize, and that's when I say doing laundry, people just think, oh no, I put it in the machine and then no, you got to put it in the machine. Then you got to come back and check on it.
Yeah.
Say if something didn't happen, like something tends to happen. Oh, you forgot to put this thing in there. You got to wash that. Right. Or something got messed up, or you got to fix something, and then you got to dry all of this, and then you got
to hang shit up and then dry other shit. Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely.
So you all this stuff, and then the biggest part, which is the most fun part, everybody enjoys doing this part of it, right? Which is the folding. Everybody loves to fold, right? Because you got so much time to fold, right? So so the thing is to show you, like, look, instead of if you took most people, you can become an entrepreneur or do some kind of side hustle with 2 to 5 hours out of your week that can bring in you some extra income.
Yeah, 100%.
So that could probably triple, quadruple, 10x the amount of money it would cost for you for us to do your laundry.
And that's what you're offering.
And that's what we're offering. And believe it or not, so future wise, I'm literally working on putting something together to where there's a blueprint to really lay that out, like how you can actually use your time to do this. Like I'm going to put together
that's genius,
some white paper for people to be able to kind of almost like an outline of it.
So in
the white paper, and then kind of open up an opportunity to how to parlay your time you would spend doing laundry
into doing other things.
And then because of my business acumen and the different things that I've done and what I have access to, I'm going to be putting that out there to where hopefully some people are interested in that. And again, I'm always working some other things that I'm doing.
No, I know you are.
So, but that's kind of like the two profiles. We want to get to that point. So, but right now we're offering really high-end service.
Yeah, it is for sure.
Products. We have, you're getting commercial quality washes.
Incredible. Yeah.
Way better than your residential machines that people never pick, because people don't realize this. You need to service your machine at home. People don't know anything about emptying out, because a lot of times if you ever have a machine, you ever hear it's like water switching around. That's old stale water just sitting there.
Yes, it's just sitting there.
you wonder like, why are my clothes like? We make sure you don't have to deal with any of that. And you know, where you can still have your machine at home. And believe it or not, most of our clients have machines, but it's just
the service that you
the service
provide.
you get where you can like, you need to wash something right away, real quick. You could go ahead and do that, but you know that your clothes are washed, folded, and all you got to
Everything's
do is
done
put them
for
away,
you,
and it's right there at your doorstep,
and it's
nicely
worth every
folded in a
penny.
bag. So the goal is to put more people onto that, and what got
It's
us
worth every
into
penny.
moving in that direction because I was looking into being in the laundry business for like over a decade. So I got so close, so many, like probably about 3 times. I was in the process of getting a lease to a laundromat, and something fall through at the last minute.
Sure.
Happened about 3 times. To finally, I got the current location we have, and where where we've been kind of in the business in a sense for a while, but now we were able to kind of get our own thing and brand and really grow and build it out. And we are started with this revolution because believe it or not, like we're not the only people that have done it, but the way we're doing it is a little different than most people do it because most
It's different than, I'm telling you, I've done
Yeah.
research. You do it different than 90% of other laundromats I've seen.
Yeah. And I
And
was,
you
and
do
I
it
want to be
better.
clear. And again, I appreciate that. I want to be clear. Like we're not a laundromat, right? We're a laundry service, right?
Your service, I'm sorry. Yes.
So,
Yes. You're a
and because
high-end laundry service.
So we're a laundry service. So
Yes.
we have a facility
Yes.
that's commercial, that has some commercial machines and stuff like that. Right. So you cannot come and sit and walk in and
Yes, it's not like you go in, you put the detergent in and sit there. Yeah.
Yeah. But what we are doing and starting this this week is we're offering drop-off services. So we people will be able to drop off. Yeah, so we'll start taking drop-offs this week. We're taking drop-off this week where you basically can drop off between the hours of like, I'm gonna say like 7 and like noon. So you have a window where you can drop off in the morning, if you will,
and then pick up later,
and then you pick it up later. So we do morning because some people may say,
that's awesome.
Some people may want same day service.
Yeah.
So if you come in, drop off at 7, then we can have it. You can come in, we can have it ready for you that night, that evening, or something like that. Which is obviously that's a more of a upcharge service, but it'll be.
But it's worth every penny, dude, for what you're getting. Come on.
Yeah. So people are getting all this good stuff. We're providing these opportunities done for you. We pick it up, we take it back to you, and you can just do whatever else you need to do and not really be concerned about that. So that was a big thing for us, and we're we're starting to get more and more. Like we probably pull up more and more clients a week.
And you've done great. It's been 3 months. January 18th, 3 months. I mean, you've come so far. And that's perfect. That's perfect because I'll definitely be able to cut this up and make a nice ad out of it. And I can target an older demographic that maybe has more disposable income if you want to get away from the college student.
Here's some areas we could target, right? So we can offer great services for people in 55 plus communities.
You want that's easy,
right? I just got a client in 55 plus community, believe it or not, washing car covers. I got my new client. He built a Mustang from like the ground up, right? He got an old Mustang, redid the whole thing. It looks amazing. So he has these like classic Mustang cars, and he got these covers that, and if you're in the South, man, the pollen is crazy here. So pollen
I know it is.
So the pollen is crazy, and he wanted to get his these covers, these car covers. So that's just one way, and he's in the 55 plus community. Can't really.
We can do that.
So we're doing that. That's one client. We can help disabled clients. So I have a client, another client we just picked up literally this week.
That's
this person has a stackable washer, and they're having difficulty. They're like paralyzed on one side, So we are offering, we're going to be able to do their laundry for them, and they're just going to have to put it away. So they're struggling being able to, you can imagine, right?
Yeah.
They have to go through all this extra stuff. No matter of fact, my apologies. They got one of these machines where most people hate them, right? This is a big thing in New York. These combo machines, not a stack. It's a combo machine where it washes, drains, and then it dries.
Then it dries. I know exactly what you're talking
those
about. They're a pain in the balls.
Some people thought it was a great idea. I guess if you
on paper, it looked like a good idea.
Yeah, it definitely looked great on paper, but no.
It's not practical.
They're not as practical as people think. I mean, if you can wash and you're going to be gone and you only have one load of laundry and you go to work, by the time you come back, they're dry. Yeah, but that's right. It's just not that great. So this handicapped person, so we can help people 55 plus community. We can help people who have disabilities that have trouble moving around. Okay. We can be resources. We can be a part of your parents that just can't do things for themselves anymore as well as they could back in the day. So we can be a part of your team, your community that you build around your loved ones that are in these, whether they're in, assisted living facilities and things like that. Because not all of these, so you got to understand, little thing about assisted living facilities, some of these things they have different levels, and they make you pay a little bit more for every little bit of
every little thing they do.
You want us to do your laundry? Upcharge. You want us to walk outside with you? Upcharge. It's just all of these little things. So now this can be taken off your plate. We work, and now we also work with facilities like that where we can partnerships with them for the whole facility. Right. So we can do that. We can help out teams that may need things. We could be backup. We could be backup for people that have on-site facilities if things go down. We're at the ready. We can provide the emergency services. So we also now we have the ability. We can do the the entry mats that when you walk into the doctor's office or so we do the mats. We could do custom mats.
Okay.
We do mat and towel services. So we can rent the mats and the towels services, the rags and things like that to bars, dental doctors' offices. So we have the commercial component where we can help people from a commercial standpoint, from with bar mops, bar towels, to the runner rugs, to the entry rugs, 3x5s, 4x6s. So we can help you from a commercial standpoint, as well as do your regular laundry, and we can do certain specialty garments. Like we're not there yet, but we'll be able to offer dry cleaning soon. We're working on getting a dry cleaning partner.
All right.
So we're again, we don't have a facility, but we're partnering with someone where dry cleaning will be done, and we can, again, it's picked up for you. Like most people still have to go to the dry cleaners when they want to get stuff dry cleaned, especially since we're entering this era where people are starting to go back into the workplace, going back into offices, where some people still have to start to dress up and stuff again. So so we offer all of these. We have an array of services. As you mentioned, we have packages for college students for the whole semester.
Yes.
I was able to.
The way you do it by the pound and everything, it's crazy. I mean,
yes. We do about a pound.
It's beautiful.
As you mentioned that we do about a pound, very affordable. You're in about the $2 range a pound.
Yeah.
But for pickup and delivery service, a lot of times you go drop it off, it's still over $2 a pound for most people. But we're giving you that pickup and delivery service for either a very competitive, if not the lower price, in our area. We've researched our competitors, and we're either at or below their cost, but a better service.
Yeah, but it's a much better service.
A much better service and things like that. So that's kind of
So what we can do, I'll cut this up into an ad. We can target 55 plus. We can target disabled, handicapped people. What county are you in? I want to target the county.
I'm in Orange County.
Okay, you're in Orange County. All
I'm
right.
in Orange County. What I would tell you, I would target.
Or would you rather do cities?
No, you could do counties.
Well, I'm gonna run it on uh, Facebook, Instagram, and probably LinkedIn. So I can do a couple cities and a county. I can do college students on Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah.
I can do the older people. Well, no, the older people are on Facebook. I can do the older people on Facebook, and I can do the county. I can do the younger people, the college students on Instagram, and do Chapel Hill. And then LinkedIn, I want to try to get some businesses.
Yeah, so I would.
So I
Yeah,
think
so
that's the way to go.
on LinkedIn, definitely the businesses. I would tell you, believe it or not, I think I would just focus on the people with the disposable income, so a higher income
Yeah.
bracket people,
So
because those people cover the other bases.
Yeah.
Because the people with the income or that are taking
All
care
right.
of they're taking care of their parents, they have the income to do it. They're sending their kids to college. They got an income. Well, I want to make sure my kid doesn't have to worry about this. So
All right.
if you focus on them, you'll get the others, right?
You're right, because they're all intertwined. So yeah.
So
All
now,
right. So we can do that.
yeah. So I would say that now. Outside of that, I would think.
I can do 55 plus. I think
Yeah.
that we'll just do it and see how it does. We'll try it for everything.
55 plus will work. Yep. I
And
think 55 plus and good.
We'll try the county. We'll try the entire Orange County if you want.
Yeah. Orange, you could do Orange County. I've been having a lot of people in Chatham County.
Okay.
Orange County. Chatham.
Okay.
And Durham County. Durham is
Orange, Chatham, and Durham.
Yeah, if you do Orange, Chatham, and Durham, those are all. I mean, how many counties can you do up to, or
I'm gonna try to do 3. Yeah. I'll try to do all 3. I'm just gonna see what the cost is and how many impressions we get. That's the only thing. I want to make sure we get enough impressions that it covers all 3.
Got it.
On Facebook. If it doesn't, then I'll split it up, and I'll do Orange, Chatham, between Facebook and Instagram, and do the older group.
Yeah, nah, man. That's greatly appreciated. I think
I think I can take 2 weeks. We can do 2 weeks and target the older demographic with the disposable income, see if it pays off. And then if not, we can go back to the college students. But I think this is a high-end service. It's a high-end laundry service. So we need to target the people with disposable income and the senior citizens, the disabled people, where they can drop off their laundry, have it washed, dried, and folded for them.
Yeah.
So I think
again, focus on, you could have it picked up,
right?
Picked up or dropped. So just is the focus should be more on like done for you service that people, because when people can drop off, right? But we want to make it as easy as possible. So my thing is make it easy for people to say yes. Like, you mean to tell me you're going to pick it up, you're going to do it, and then you're going to drop it back? Yes, sign me up, right? That's the kind of where we want to be. Some people still, you get some older people who are like, yeah, I could drop it off. Like the guy with the covers, he's like, I could drop it off. And I said, you can, but we normally, this is all a part of the service. We pick it up for you.
Orange, Chatham, and Durham.
Yep.
Right.
Orange, Chatham, and Durham.
Okay. 55 plus. All right. I got that covered.
Yep.
I'll cut this up into an ad, and I'll try to get it running by tonight. If there's anything else you want, because I can put it in the blurb underneath, you can email it to me, and I'll make sure it gets in. I'll also run it as a post, So I'll post it everywhere, and then it'll run as a separate ad targeting those counties.
Got it. Got it.
We'll,
Let me
we'll
ask
see how
you.
we do with it.
So from what you've done so far, like how do you what have you seen in terms of impressions and things like that? Like, because
You're getting great numbers. You're getting at least for the last month. I mean, we've gotten over 10,000 impressions. We get close to 7,000 clicks. So I mean, it's working, but I've been targeting the college students, so I don't know if they have been booking. So going
yeah,
with the older demographic, if with 10,000 impressions and those clicks, you should get better numbers
okay, because
because
that's I'm
they'll
like,
have disposable income.
yeah, because I'm trying to see because I haven't really noticed most of the people I'm getting are older people. I got people finding me on like some people been finding me on either Google or
Yeah, because your SEO is up.
yeah,
Because I've posted so much and you post so much, we've gotten your SEO up. So your Google
yeah.
searches, you come up near the top.
And what's the
We've
other
tried
ones?
to do
Google
that.
and I forgot the one, the red one. I can't Yelp. So Yelp.
Yeah, your Yelp and your Google ratings. I try to falsify your Google ratings. That always helps. Like if I have a Google account and I Google Fresh Fold,
Yeah.
I can list it at 5 stars and write a review, but I have to do it for 5 other companies, or else they know that I'm just doing it to help you.
Yeah.
So we do Google reviews to try to help, and we've been trying to boost your SEO with the content and sharing
Yeah.
everything.
Have you
And
done? Because I haven't even seen any. The have you done the Google reviews? Have you done any yet? I got because I'm trying. I've created a Google review link for my clients to start to do, but I'm still waiting for some of those to roll in.
oh,
I,
I have. They may have gotten erased because I didn't do enough of them. Because if you do like 3 or 4, sometimes they don't keep them because they know that you're trying to boost one business. But I will do more of them, and I have a couple people who are going to help me with their Google accounts. So we'll definitely get that rating up for you.
great, great. But yeah, man. I mean, man, I really appreciate coming on. I didn't,
No, this was great. This was awesome. We'll have you on again. We'll talk more Yukon. This was such a great conversation. I'm so happy that I got a chance to talk with you. And I learned a lot. And we are going to promote the hell out of your business. We're on we just started on a national podcast network, so that's going to be a big help, and I can still focus on the North Carolina area, but we're everywhere now. So
Got it.
we're really growing, and
Oh,
I am going to try to get Phil and Kevin to post something on Yukon site, Yukon social media, and Yukon Plus about your
okay.
business.
Yeah, I
Because
was about to ask
Kevin,
you about that. How did that go with the Yukon Plus? You guys got it, or how did that
yeah,
go?
yeah. We're starting up. We're starting up probably by May. Probably by May 1st. He's got everything. We're transferring everything to them. It just takes a while to load all the podcasts. But Kevin Freeman is in charge of alumni affairs, so he is going to help with the alumni businesses that I've been working with, like you and Procyon and Brunel, and that's going to be a big help. He's trying, and then he also wants to place student athletes with you, to mentor, to help,
Yeah.
with job applications and stuff like that. So I'll work with Kevin Freeman, and we'll get more from him. We'll do the Google reviews. We'll do these ads and target the 55 plus with disposable income on all the social media sites, And I mean, if it doesn't work, then I'll do straight Google ads. Google ads and search engine marketing is good enough. We can do that too. So there's a couple different things we can try. But I think targeting the 55 plus, you'll see a bigger difference.
Yeah,
than the college students.
Yeah, I think that'll happen too. I think with the college student stuff, eventually I got to get to. So I did go to a few of the. I went to a couple of frats, and I.
Oh, you did? Good. Okay.
And what I'm finding, like, right? So I asked, "Hey, you guys got a house manager?" They say, "Yeah, they got a house manager." So then, some of the people I spoke to, I don't know if they did it or not, but they were like, "Yeah, I could share this with the group." I left a little flyer, and it was like, "Yeah, I can take a picture and share it." They have, I guess, on all of the houses, they have group chats on,
Yeah, they do. They do.
So then they said, "Yeah, I can share this one in the group chat." So I only went to maybe 3 or 4 of the houses. There's a couple more I'm gonna go to because those kids there. I'm like, man, I'm going to just kind of touch base, and I only went on UNC's campus, so I'm gonna try to see.
Okay.
I'm assuming Duke probably has another one. They probably have someone there.
We got to get to Duke. I'm going to try to get Ed to go to Duke because Duke will be the place that has the disposable income with their kids, so they would be more likely to spend that kind of money. So we can.
Both of the schools.
Or UNC, absolutely.
Yeah, UNC and but yeah, Duke is private, so for sure. I definitely. I think it's a thing. What I have to do is get a hold of the people that do student life. And I thought about this when I was there. And I got to get a hold of the people that do the campus tours and the people that put together those packets.
I can get that for you. Ed's wife's friend does that. She does the campus tours. She works for Res Life. And she works in admissions.
Yeah,
so,
but she's at UNC Charlotte, though, right?
Yeah, but she's got friends down at UNC and UNC Charlotte. So I'll try to get you connected with them as well.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Can do that.
Because if we can get basically one of the slots, because the kids are there, they just paying attention to school. The parents are holding the packets.
Yeah.
The parents are holding okay, this looks good. Oh, you mean to tell me we could get laundry done for the whole semester? Yeah, let me go ahead and pay for that now. Right? Yeah. The parents will go ahead and do that, and we'll get, man, if I get, each semester you get a couple dozen parents to do that, that's great, right? And you give a kid one wash a week, which is not bad at all. And what happens is if I could get in, then once you see people like the service, then the campus will be more open to we'll let you get a drop-off area, right?
Absolutely.
On campus. So I can maybe get a room on campus or something, get something where maybe I can rent it or whatever from them, but then
absolutely,
something can get built out to where they have this locker service
where kids can
just put it in the locker, you get it in there, it comes get picked up, we pick it up, once a week or whatever day that is a week, and we're off to the races. So that would be great.
All right, I'll talk to Ed. Let me get to work on this. So I can get this up, and we'll target the older demographic. We'll try it for 2 weeks and see how it works. We'll see if it makes a difference. And we'll target those 3 counties.
Cool.
And
we should have this speed up.
I'm going to try to put it up tonight. I'll
really?
try to cut it up, and I'll try to put it up tonight. Yeah. As soon as I'm done here, I got to get going because I got another show. But I will get this up, and we'll get this rolling. And it'll be posted as a post on everywhere else, and then it'll also run as a paid ad. So you'll see it as a post, and then you should see it as a paid ad on some of the other sites.
Got it.
All right.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on, man.
And we'll have you on again for sure. You were great. Thank you for doing this. You take care.
All right, later.